Buenos dias, Colombia. How are you guys doing? So after 2 months here in the beautiful country of Colombia, it's time to say goodbye. And before I go, I put together 5 tips for you if you're planning to go to Colombia as a digital nomad. So before I start, just keep in mind that my first tip is all about where to go, where to stay. So if you already know where you're going, so you can skip this part and go to the other 4 tips at this minute. This one that I'm showing here in the screen. So yeah, go there, you can skip this first big part of the video. But if you don't know where to go, so let's start. Tip number 1, where to go, where to stay. I spent 1 month in Cartagena, then 10 days in Santa Marta, and 1 month in Medellin. And before you decide where to go, you need to know like your style, where you prefer. If you're more like a big city vibe, of course Medellin is gonna be your choice. Then, like in Medellin, the most famous neighborhood for digital nomads is El Poblado. It's where you're gonna find most of the co-workings, cafes, also the expats. It's more like international and of course, a little bit more pricey than the other neighborhoods. At the same time, you're gonna have all the infrastructure that you might need to get your work done from Medellin. And of course, you can set database and visit a lot around Medellin. So if it's that what you're looking for, Medellin is a really nice town. I really recommend a lot of digital nomads there. That's no-brainer if you're going to South America as a digital nomad. But if you're like me, more as a beach vibe, you prefer like a small town by the coast, then you might be thinking Cartagena or Santa Marta. Like I said, I spent 1 month in Cartagena, then 10 days in Santa Marta. And if I could give a tip for Diego from the past, I would say to switch the amount of time in these towns. I would stay like a week in Cartagena and then a month in Santa Marta. Why that? So don't get me wrong, it's not that I didn't like Cartagena. Cartagena is a beautiful city, it's like beautiful architecture, it's a UNESCO heritage, a lot of history there. It's definitely worth visiting. But I would go more as like a tourist on vacation. Spending a month there was kind of overwhelming because every time you go out, like especially in the main neighborhoods, the city center, Getsemani or San Diego, whenever you go out, a lot of people are going to start like trying to sell you stuff. You're going to like approaching you to sell a tour or sell like food or art crafts. So it's all at the time, one after the other. It's very touristic. Of course, Cartagena is like the most visited city in Colombia. So that's why it's like the most expensive city in Colombia. I made a video about how much I spent in 1 month in Cartagena. If you want to plan your budget, I can link the video here down below or put the card here. So you can see more or less how much you're going to be spending 1 month in Cartagena. But once again, it's very touristic and I prefer having a vibe that I'm more like living like and experiencing what like the local people are doing the same and not just be seen as a tourist all the time. Anyways, if you're going to Cartagena for a longer period, a good tip would be staying in the neighborhood of Manga, which is south of Getsemani. There you can probably feel more like a local vibe. And whenever you want to do something touristic, you just cross the bridge like 5-10 minutes, you're gonna be in Getsemani or the old town and you can do everything. But as I said, I would choose to stay 1 month in Santa Marta. Santa Marta is like 4 or 5 hours east of Cartagena. And gosh, like I fell in love with the town. It's like everything that I like when I'm going to a new destination as a digital nomad. It has a good infrastructure, don't get me wrong. Santa Marta is a big town, probably more than, I don't know, 500,000 people. So it has its infrastructure, has good internet, nice co-workings, cafes. And then you can find like a really busy nightlife with bars, restaurants, clubs. You can find all that in Santa Marta. And what I liked is that I would spend the week from Monday to Friday having like a more like of a normal life, if I can say that, and enjoying the weekends outside Santa Marta because there's so much to do outside. You have Tayrona National Park, have Taganga, have Minca in the coffee farms in the mountains. You have Palomino. If you spend a month in Santa Marta, every weekend you're gonna have something different to do. And it's a lot of stuff like based on nature on the outdoors, which I love to unplug on the weekends. So it's perfect. I think Santa Marta was like my favorite town, my favorite spot in Colombia. I'm definitely going back there for more time. So there you go. I hope this can help you to plan, decide where to stay. And now that we covered this part of the video, let's go to the other 4 tips. Tip number 2 is where to withdraw cash. Based on my experience in other countries in South America, Central America, I would say that Colombia is a country that didn't adopt credit card much. Like a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, bars, they just simply don't accept credit card. You can only pay with cash or a domestic bank transfer, which is not useful for digital nomads. So if you don't mind paying a fee at the ATMs, you can find Bancolombia, which I think is the most popular bank in Colombia. There's ATMs everywhere. But if you want to save some bucks, I found 3 banks that they don't charge any fee. And they are BBVA, Banco Pichincha, and Colpatria. I end up using the first 2 the most. And one tip about BBVA is that they ask for a 6-digit PIN code, and my credit card only has 4. So after a few tries that I almost blocked my card, I found out that you only need to put 4 digits and leave the other 2 blank and you're good to go. So yeah, these 3 banks, 0 fees. My next tip is about all of the day tours and weekend trips that you can do from one of these 3 main destinations. As a recap, Cartagena, Santa Marta, or Medellin. If you're one of these 3, you should definitely take one day or a weekend to visit some other towns. So let me list some of them here and you should check them later. Starting with Cartagena. Cartagena, I would recommend you to visit Palenque. Palenque is an Afro-descendant community full of culture, definitely worth checking. And then moving to Santa Marta. Like I said, Santa Marta is a playground. So from there's so many things you can do. I would recommend the Tayrona National Park, which I made a video, I will link in the description. But also Palomino, Minca with the coffee farms in the mountains. And if you have a few more days, you should check the Lost City Trek. But that one, you're gonna need like 4 to 5 days to complete. And finally, Medellin. I have 3 towns that I would recommend you to check. The first one is Guatape. I also made a video down below. The other one is Jardín, another one that I made a video, link here. And finally, Solento. All of these 3 towns are super worth checking. Go check these videos down below. And if you're in one of these 3 main destinations, take one day, a weekend, and go visit these other towns. Tip number 4 is all about the food that you can try in Colombia. And let's distinguish if you're on the coast or up in the mountains. If you're on the coast, of course, you should try the fish. But also there's 2 other things that is super worth checking. One is the limonada de coco, or coconut lemonade, very strong in the coast. And finally, arepas. You can find arepas in all other parts of Colombia, but I would say that on the coast, it was very popular. I think stronger than other parts of Colombia with many flavors. You can find on the streets, like street food carts everywhere. So definitely check that. And if you're in Medellin, the main plate is bandeja paisa, which is a combo of a bunch of meat with a few ciders, like big plate. Check that. And one bonus tip is if you go to Jardín, they are really strong about the trucha fish, the trout fish. So please write down all these plates and check them out. And my final tip, if you're in Colombia, is go play Tejo. Tejo is the national sport of Colombia, not football. And it's kind of like a cornhole, but you play with explosives. Yes, I'm not joking. They put like some gunpowder triangles, and if you hit, it gives you a big kaboom, big explosion, super fun to play. So if you're in Colombia, don't miss the chance, go play Tejo. A very like cultural and also fun thing to do. So that's it, guys. These are my 5 tips I have for you if you're going to Colombia as a digital nomad. If you've been to the country and you have other tips, please comment down below. Let's increase this list and help other people that are going to this beautiful country. And this is my final video about Colombia, this series that I posted about this country. Now the next one is gonna be in a new destination. Come next Tuesday to find out which destination is gonna be. And if you like this video, please don't forget to leave your like down below. I really appreciate it. And yeah, see you next Tuesday. Adios, Colombia. Muchas gracias. It's been great. See you. Bye.